And welcome to the fourth episode of The Positive Vibe here on Jay's Old TV channel. I'm your host, Jason DeCanio, once again ready to go for another look at some of the positive articles, reports, headlines that all affect us some way or another. Today is September 29th, 2025, and we're ready for a new week and going into a new month of October. We're ready to go with our first of the positive headlines of the weekend. And we'll also look at a beloved Chicago bookstore that becomes the heart of a community and a symbol of hope and belonging. And then how residents of Monroe, Louisiana turned a heartbreaking loss into community purpose. And in our health segment, drinking this hot beverage daily could help preserve brain health. And a new study at Harvard was found. So hopefully that will take you into the positive direction. We'll put our ticker up there, and we're ready for the positive headlines of the weekend. Ready to go. So let's delve into that right now. It's our daily digest, actually. And we're going to add that to the screen and start us off. It is Monday, September 29th. And as you know, an assailant targeted the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints yesterday, killing at least 4 people and wounding at least 8 others. Police identified the suspect as 40-year-old Iraq War veteran Thomas Jacob Sanford. They did not publicly disclose a motive as of this writing, but the attack began just before 10:30 a.m. when the suspect drove a pickup truck adorned with American flags into the church where services were underway. He then opened fire on congregants and is believed to have set the building on fire. An unknown number of victims were believed to be trapped inside the church, and after roughly 10 minutes, the assailant was killed in an exchange of gunfire with responding police officer. You see the live updates here. The attack came after a mass shooting in Southport, North Carolina, Saturday evening, where a separate combat veteran killed at least 3 people and wounded 8 others. President Donald Trump on Saturday directed the Pentagon to send the U.S. troops to Portland, Oregon. It is not yet clear which branch of the military will be deployed or when. The decision comes as dozens of protesters met regularly outside Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in the city, and demonstrations have at times turned violent, with protesters charged with assault and federal agents releasing tear gas. Trump says the deployment against Antifa and other domestic terrorists is designed to protect ICE facilities. We're a sanctuary city. Local police have limited cooperation with federal immigration authorities and only intervene during protests in the event of vandalism and violence. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek has rejected White House allegations that Portland is in need of federal assistance and does not plan to request the National Guard. Trump has deployed more than 6,000 National Guard troops across Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. An estimated 150 National Guard troops will be deployed this week to Memphis, Tennessee, though the number is still in flux. Major League Baseball postseason picture is now set, following a thrilling conclusion that saw 2 division titles and the remaining playoff berth decided on the final day. The Cleveland Guardians and Toronto Blue Jays both won their divisions, while the Cincinnati Reds clinched the final wild card spot over the New York Mets. The National League leading Milwaukee Brewers enter with the league's best record at 97-65 and will enjoy home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The defending champion Los Angeles Dodgers, whose star pitcher Clayton Kershaw is set to retire, will face the Cincinnati Reds in the wild card round. Games begin tomorrow. See a full bracket with the dates and times here. And yesterday's game also capped a favorable season for sluggers. For just the 3rd time in history, 4 players hit at least 50 home runs. That includes Seattle's Cal Raleigh, who became the 7th player to knock 60 or more home runs in a single season. So let's now go to the Good News Network. As well, a lottery winner. She shares her fortune. She spreads blessings to charities. When Virginia resident Carrie Edwards won $150,000 in the lottery, she chose to donate the entire sum to 3 charities close to her heart. Her first gift went to the Association of Frontotemporal Degeneration, honoring her late husband and supporting families facing early onset dementia. She also donated to Shalom Farms, which works to improve food access for low-income communities in Richmond. And her third donation supported the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society, helping military families in need. Edwards hopes her generosity will inspire others to give back and support causes that matter to them. Her story is a reminder of the power of kindness and community. Billionaires blocked from public from the National Monument, but now the gates are open. A 22,000-acre Montana ranch that once blocked public access to a national monument has been acquired by the American Prairie Reserve. This move opens a key road, allowing residents and visitors to reach the Upper Missouri Breaks National Monument for the first time in years. The acquisition is part of a larger effort to create the largest wild prairie reserve in the U.S., blending conservation with recreation. Advocacy groups and locals are celebrating the return of public access, which will support both wildlife and community enjoyment. The reserve plans to develop a comprehensive public access plan, ensuring the land remains open and protected for generations to come. And Britain's grandmother smashes 4 world records in powerlifting after just months in the sport. She's 65 years of age. Martine Barons became Britain's strongest grandmother, breaking 4 world records just 18 months after starting powerlifting by chance. Martine, who's a full-time academic, trains 5 days a week and has won European and world championships, lifting impressive weights in squat, deadlift, and bench press. She says the health benefits and joy of competing have transformed her life, proving it's never too late to discover a hidden talent. Her next goal is the British Single Lifts Championship in 2026. One man's passion saves the world's rarest monkeys. Population soars to near 2,000. Once among the rarest primates in China, golden snub-nosed monkeys in Hubei's Shenandoah Mountains have rebounded from just 500 to nearly 2,000, thanks to decades of dedication by Professor Yang Zhengyong. Yang's patient research helped locals shift from logging and hunting to conservation and ecotourism, allowing forests and monkey populations to recover. Today, the monkeys thrive in a protective, biodiverse haven, a testament to the power of one person's passion and persistence. This day in history, about 1996, 29 years ago today, the Nintendo 64 debuted in North America, redefining video games with its 64-bit microprocessor and groundbreaking 3D graphics. Praised as the fastest, most graceful game machine on the market, it was the first console with 4 controller ports, enabling smooth split-screen multiplayer that became a hallmark of 1990s gaming. Bundled with instant classics like Super Mario 64 and The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. The N64 sold 3.6 million units in its first year. Its cartridge-based system, priced at $199.99, became a childhood icon and remains one of the most influential consoles in history. And also in 1547, Miguel de Cervantes, Spanish author of Don Quixote and father of the modern novel, was born. To 1954, Willie Mays made his legendary over-the-shoulder catch in Game 1 of the World Series. In 1988, Space Shuttle Discovery launched, marking the U.S. return to manned space after Challenger. And in 1990, Washington National Cathedral was completed 83 years after its cornerstone was laid. Wow. And that's a look at the headlines, plus a whole lot of other great stuff. You can join the Good News Network. There is a Good News Network out there. Just look it up, subscribe to it, and you can follow along with us here on the road to good news. All right, those are the positive headlines for today. When we come back, we'll look at definitely the news of the weird, because it is Monday, with more funny articles and maybe some true things along the way. More when we come back right after this.
It's the quick, thick, liquid bowl cleaner new Swish. It's the clean, green, liquid bowl cleaner new Swish.
Swish's thick green liquid clings to the bowl, clings to the rim, and it cleans as it clings. It deep cleans, it fights rust, and nicest of all, Swish releases a fresh cut fragrance.
It's the quick, thick, liquid bowl cleaner new Swish. It's the clean, green, liquid bowl cleaner new Swish.
It cleans as it clings.
It's It's not the 4th of July, it's not Thanksgiving, it's not even Christmas. It's better than all those. It's Crazy Eddie Day. You'll save money like never before during Crazy Eddie's Crazy Eddie Day sale with the guaranteed lowest prices on anything and everything in home entertainment. Shop around, get the lowest sale prices you can find, then go to Crazy Eddie and he'll beat them. It's Crazy Eddie Day. Save big, big, big bucks during Crazy Eddie's Crazy Eddie Day sale. Crazy Eddie, his prices are insane. Thanks a lot.
Ooh, Lipton tea, you made new, decaffeinated just for me.
Now there's something new under the sun. Introducing Lipton Decaffeinated Instant Iced Tea.
Ooh, Lipton tea, you made new, decaffeinated just for me.
Yes, Lipton also has a decaffeinated instant tea any way you like it, with sugar, with NutraSweet, or unsweetened. Delicious.
Ooh, Lipton tea, you made new, decaffeinated just for us.
You know, to clarify butter is particularly simple. All you do is put half a pound of butter into a saucepan. After 10 minutes, it looks like this with a foam on the top. You skim the foam off the top and place that into one Dixie cup. Then you take, when you've got all the foam off, and you pour the clear, clarified butter into the other Dixie cup. And it keeps beautifully, you know. You can fry with this, you can butter vegetables with this one. And don't forget, in Dixie cups.
Ice cream, Carvel ice cream. We make fresh ice cream every day at Carvel Ice Cream. America's freshest ice cream every way at Carvel Ice Cream. Fresh Carvel ice cream.
Okay, welcome back to the Positive Vibe. Ready to go now to the news of the weird, and of course the leaders at the actually it's the editors at Andrews McMeel Syndication for September 26, 2025, and of course Chuck Shepard, who started this whole thing many years ago, have come up with some more great articles from this past Friday and go the whole Friday to Friday thing. So we start off with Creme de la Weird, of course. Rose Mincy, or Nincy, she's 39 years of age. She appeared in court on September 18th, where she faced charges of illegal possession of human tissues, the BBC reported. Mincy, or Menincy, is a cleaner at a hospital maternity ward in eastern Mpumalanga, South Africa. Security officers were tipped off that she was seeking buyers for human body tissues, and they arrested her with a plastic bag of human placentas. Police say Nincy might face further charges, but she is due back in court in October. The BP convenience store in Macon, Missouri has slot machines, KTVO-TV reported, which made it really handy for Amber Dawn Butler, of 34 years of age, to satisfy her gambling addiction while she was at work. One little hiccup in her on-the-job wagering was that she was allegedly taking money from the store's cash register and safe to feed into the machines. Butler also confessed to scratching lottery tickets she hadn't bought and stealing cigarettes and bottled water from the store. Confusingly, she pleaded not guilty and is being held in the Macon County Jail. If you're planning to do a little carousing this homecoming season in Jessup, Iowa, think again. The Jessup Police Department has issued a warning that TPing, or toilet papering, is banned, and anyone doing it will face legal charges. KCRG TV reported on September 17th that police have labeled the prank harassment and have identified multiple people who they are investigating for trespassing, criminal mischief, illegal dumping, and disorderly conduct, actually. And in Conway, South Carolina, TikTok users and others are following the escapades of the CCU pisser. He's a person who relieves himself at different points around the Coastal Carolina University campus. The Sun News reported that the videos started appearing on September 1st, and each one features a different iconic target. A CCU logo embedded in a sidewalk, for example, and the school's football field. CCU wouldn't comment on the shenanigans, but a detective apparently unaffiliated with the school is also a hit on TikTok, warning the pisser that, "I know your name. I know where you will be next." We'd love to hear from both posters' GPA. Well, Joan Heblack of San Rafael, California, was enjoying a walk in her neighborhood when a squirrel came out of nowhere to claw and bite her, KGO TV reported on September 22nd. Her injuries sent her to the emergency room. Heblack isn't the only victim of an attacked squirrel in the area. About 5 people have been attacked, and flyers have been posted on utility poles warning residents of the very mean squirrel. Lisa Bloch of Marine Humane said, such attacks are likely the result of someone feeding it, and when wildlife is fed by humans, they can lose their natural fear and act more emboldened. The LA County Department of Public Health assures locals that squirrels do not spread rabies. Teaching assistant 32-year-old Alexander Lewis was charged with interfering with schools and malicious injury to property in Florence, South Carolina, WKRC TV reported on September 23rd. But between August 25th and September 19th, Lewis allegedly used a spray that mimics the smell of poop inside the school. The spray caused students and staff health issues, nausea, and dizziness, and the district spent almost $55,000 trying to solve the issue through air conditioning, inspection, and repair costs. Lewis's bond was set at $9,000. 57-year-old man in Shizuoka Prefecture in Japan was rearrested on September 18th after investigators discovered that he had allegedly stolen 50 fire hose nozzles, Japan Today reported. It wasn't clear why he was stealing them, as he kept them in his possession rather than selling them. Officials say the nozzles aren't worth much as scrap metal, but the absence of them presents a serious risk to the public. And 3 members of the Kingdom of Kubala, an African tribe, were ordered to vacate private land in Scotland on September 22nd, Sky News reported. But instead, they just relocated to the other side of a fence on council-owned land. The members say they are reclaiming land that was stolen from their ancestors 400 years ago. But the Scottish Borders Council has made efforts to remove them. King Ethian, also known as 36-year-old Kafe Afsh, indicated that he would not speak to media outlets unless they brought him gifts. The group posted on Facebook, "The Kingdom of Kubala can never be destroyed." A spokesperson for the Borders Council said legal processes are continuing and officers will proceed through the next steps as quickly as possible. 41-year-old Lisa Catalano of San Mateo, California, is ready to settle down. KRON TV reported, so she's set her sights high. Catalano is using digital billboards along Highway 101 to seek out potential mates, directing suitors to her website to get more information and apply. I just want to meet somebody, she said, and I was just not having any luck any other way. Catalano was previously engaged, but her fiance passed away in 2023 from illness. As she looks for the ideal applicant, she says, I hope that this is a great story that we can tell our future children. Craigsila Community Kindergarten and Preschool in Brisbane, Australia, had to close recently after its funding was halted, the BBC reported. Following upheaval among the staff and volunteer committee, parents received an email on September 21st explaining that the school can't pay its debts. Hours later, a second email asked parents to pay $1,400 to receive a portfolio of their children's art. Administrators said the money would go toward paying down unpaid bills, including teachers' wages. Brooke, a parent of a Craigslist student, called the scheme absolutely ridiculous. She decided to collect the artwork without paying, which led the center to report her to police. The Creech and Kindergarten Association and the Department of Education got involved, and now these important records are now available for families to collect, C&K said. Parent David Christofuli remarked, let's give the kids their finger painting and let's get on with life. And the robots are coming to Major League Baseball. On September 23rd, the MLB approved the use of an automated ball strike system for challenges during the 2026 season, ESPN reported. The ABS system will be similar to the line calling system in tennis, and each team will get 2 challenges per game, signaled by a hitter, pitcher, or catcher tapping his head. Human big league umpires call about 94% of pitches correctly. And just months after a woman from New York dug up a 2.3 carat diamond at Arkansas's Crater of Diamonds State Park, a family from Oklahoma have unearthed an even bigger rock, a 2.79 carat brown diamond. United Press International reported that on September 13th, Renee Madison and her family went to the park to celebrate her nephew's birthday, bringing beach digging and sand sifting tools they purchased at a dollar store. I honestly thought it was too big to be a diamond, Madison said, but the park said it is the third largest diamond found at the park this year. Wow, what a find. And there you have it, friends. News of the weird. Yes, from the editors at Andrews McMeel Syndication. And, of course, Chuck Shepard, who started this whole thing back in 1996. Now, next year, we'll celebrate 30 years since the time that he started this whole thing. But he's since been retired, and these guys have taken over and have picked up where he has left off. When we come back, we will look at our first article of the day. A beloved Chicago bookstore becomes the heart of a community and a symbol of hope and belonging. We'll be back with more of the Positive Vibe right after these very important messages.
Have a soft drink, sweetie, and this time sing it with a smile.
You know, all this sweet stuff's just not my style. I'm making my move to Canada Dry. So long the sweet things I'm ready to try. Ginger ale, crisp and light, like sweet and so right. I'm changing my taste, I'm raising my sight. She's making her move to Canada Dry.
Which cereal has more vitamin nutrition than any other? Kellogg's Product 19 cereal. But you'd never guess.
Oh?
Because Product 19 vitamins are flaky, bumpy, crispy, crunchy, and taste so good. Product 19 goodness comes from corn, oats, wheat, and rice.
Delicious.
Kellogg's Product 19.
Flaky.
Bumpy.
Crispy. Crunchy.
Tasty vitamins.
Help keep your world cool and beautiful. Wear new Summeralls this summer.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Does a former drill sergeant make a terrible therapist?
And that's why yellow makes me sad, I think.
That's interesting. You know what makes me sad?
You do! Maybe we should chug on over to Mamby-Pamby land, where maybe we can find some self-confidence for you, you jackwagon!
Tissue? Cry, baby.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
If you were gonna cook up some burgers tonight, you'd want to broil them on a grill, make them taste just right. You put them on a fire, a real hot flame. You wouldn't fry them in a pan, wouldn't taste the same. You'd make them come out juicy if you did them yourself. It's got to be just as good, you want it just as good when you leave it to somebody else. And that's why we do it like you do it, when we do it like we do it at Burger King. We do it like you would do it, when we do it like we do it at Burger King. We do it like you do it, when we do it like we do it at Burger King. We do it like you would do it, when we do it like we do it. The only way to do it, we do it like we do it at Burger King.
Gotta have a lucky charm when you ride, right? Makes you feel safe and protected out there.
That's why I never leave home without a photo of the little ones.
Bracelet for my husband.
Lucky rabbit's foot.
Lucky rabbit named Swoot. It's Swedish.
That's a whole rabbit.
Named Swoot.
Well, there's really no need for a lucky charm when you ride.
Not when America's #1 motorcycle insurance got your back.
We're just gonna ignore the fact that Carl has a rabbit.
Named Swoot.
Yeah, there's Sfoot for you. Sfoot the rabbit. And Geico is your friend, as they say. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our first article of the evening. And this is a beloved Chicago bookstore that becomes the heart of the community and a symbol of hope and belonging. This is by Celeste McCaukley, and this was produced on Friday, last Friday, that is, on September 26, 2025. Semicolon Books in Chicago is so much more than just a bookstore, and here's why it's one of 2025's nicest places in America. Leslie Shorgren wanted to go to Semicolon Books in Chicago to celebrate her birthday, so she packed up her husband and 4 sons and came in from the suburbs. When she checked out that day in July of 2020, she asked a woman at the register if she was Danielle Moore, the bookstore's owner. Yeah. Are you Leslie? Moore replied, flashing her signature bright smile. She slipped Shogren a birthday card signed by each staff member, thanking her for celebrating her birthday at the store. Mom, that's a real birthday card, said one of her sons, looking surprised. Shogren was surprised too. Sure, she had messaged the bookstore on Instagram, asking its hours and casually mentioning she'd be visiting for her birthday. But still, Danielle didn't need to do that, she says. When people do a hospitality touch like that above and beyond, it just sticks with you. She and her family are store regulars today. And since 2019, Moore has been adding her personal touch to everything she does at Semicolon. Inside, shelves stretch floor to ceiling with front-facing books displayed like art. The walls are packed with prints, paintings, and quotes. Comfy couches invite visitors to read, and handmade pillows featuring literary icons like Audre Lorde and Octavia E. Butler add to the homey vibe. We wanted it to feel cozy, warm, and full of love, she says. Courtney Joseph started going to Semicolon in June of 2020. After George Floyd was killed, she wanted to support Black-owned businesses. Now a mom, she often brings her toddler to the store. What I see are people talking to one another, Joseph says about her fellow Semicolon bibliophiles. There is a sense of connection. But it's important to Moore that customers consider the store a third space, not home or work, but someplace that still feels like a place for belonging. That's something Moore didn't have growing up, where she lived with her mother in a domestic violence shelter in Florida. A Daniel Steele novel was the only book there. I know what it's like not to have books, she says. Moore welcomes classes into the store, and students pick out what they want for free. So far, though, through its Clear the Shelves program, Semicolon has given 13,000 books to Chicago public school students. Moore and her staff have curated books for 52 schools and donated books and funds to 27 Chicagoland organizations. We like to take everything we make and give it back, she says. Devonta Boston, founder of the nonprofit TGI movement, which brings youth development programming ranging from the arts to entrepreneurship to young people on Chicago's South Side, and appreciates what Semicolon does for the local kids. Danielle found books for our kids that have never been in school. Books on streetwear and Black fashion designers like Virgil Abloh and Pharrell, she says. Semicolon sits in West Town, a trendy area full of small shops, restaurants, and museums with a diverse mix of whites, blacks, Asians, Hispanics, and mixed race folks. Moore lives close enough to the store that she walks to work. Andrea Bichelle of Deltronics, a nearby audio electronics repair shop, says Moore makes the whole street feel like a neighborhood. She was the first business owner who came in and interacted with us and invited us to stuff, so that was really cool. She brings a good spirit to the block, adds Cesar Buendia, owner of the neighboring Rubens Unisex Barbershop. She came in and offered us books, but we were remodeling. She said she'll come back when we're done. His clients will pursue or peruse the books as they wait. Leslie Shogren attended Semicolon's Independent Bookstore Day event last April, a big block party. There was music, she said. My husband and I sat on one of the couches they put in the street on a rug and just hung out and chatted with everyone. It's a very welcoming place, says Ora Soya, who is one of many regulars. You sit there and you can talk about books, you can talk about arts, and you can talk about anything. The store's name is also a sign of Moore's irrepressible spirit. In January of 2019, she was diagnosed with ocular melanoma. She was a museum curator at the time, constantly flying to work. Chemo would keep her grounded, and that's how she landed on Semicolon. A semicolon is where an author could stop the sentence, but chooses not to. So it was kind of a space for me to figure out a way to still make it life enjoyable, she explains. But Moore had what she hopes will be her last chemo treatment in June. And that's not the only challenge. Her car was stolen on Labor Day weekend last year. The store's checkbook was taken and her account was hacked. Those were funds for payroll, book giveaways, school visits, and events. 4 months later, Moore had to shut down the store. She shared the news on Instagram, and when she looked at the comments, she felt undone by hundreds of responses. This is the first bookstore my baby had ever been to at 4. He loves to read now as a 7-year-old. Thank you for lighting the flame. Your work and impact on your community will stand for generations. I owe so much of my inspiration, dream, and aspirations to you all. A Kickstarter campaign launched to reopen the store, and Moore's team checked the numbers constantly. It was an exciting moment for them to see we were going to make it, she says. Thrilled customers sent DMs saying, you hit it, and we can't wait to go to the cafe. Semicolon had its grand reopening this past Juneteenth. Customers brought books to swap with one another. Coffee brewed as a DJ spun music. A photographer snapped portraits of people holding their favorite books. Leah Johnson, who owns Loudmouth Books in Indianapolis, said she is heartened by Semicolon's staying power. It breaks my heart that people don't always see that bookstores, particularly Black bookstores, can offer what no algorithm can offer. And that's the human connection. That's the community building. That's the space making that happens when you support your local bookstore, she says. Fittingly, the best-selling book at Semicolon is All About Love by Bell Hooks. That is absolutely our ethos, Moore says. We live by it. We believe in moving in love and community above all. And there you have it, friends. Another great article from the Reader's Digest. And that's a look at our first topic today, which indeed we will take a look at the next one coming up right after the break, which is, if I can pull it up, the next article would be how residents of Monroe, Louisiana turned a heartbreaking loss into community purpose. And then drinking this hot beverage daily could help preserve brain health, found a new Harvard study. We'll look at those articles when we come back with more of the Positive Vibe right after this.
All of my work as carpenter and painter is paying off. You wouldn't believe the change in this place, or for that matter, the change in me. I colored my hair with Nice and Easy. The color looks like I was born with it, and it feels like a whole new head of hair. Jim asked me how I do it all. Mother, maintenance person, and beautiful blonde? I told him, Nice and Easy. That's my style.
If you're getting pumped for basketball, pumped for cross-training, pumped for aerobics, or pumped for tennis, get the full effect of all the new Reebok pumps at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Before you slip on something silky, or put on anything at all. Before you dress, caress. Caress with bath oil. Can't dry your skin the way soap can. Before you dress, caress.
When the person who doctors the family gets a cough and cold, everyone suffers.
Mom, someone took my sleeve.
I ironed it myself. Time to doctor that cough with Robitussin, because more doctors and pharmacists recommend Robitussin than any other cough medicine.
Look, Mom's feeling better. Uh-oh.
Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom. Which Robitussin is right for you? Ask your doctor or pharmacist. And also try Robitussin cough drops. Cough drops from the cough experts.
Peggy Fox, would your glass cleaner clean lipstick without streaking?
I don't know.
Try Glass Plus. Mrs. Fox has never used Glass Plus before.
I think it's great.
Now look at this greasy stove. Would you use a glass cleaner on that?
No.
Try Glass Plus. It cleans more than glass.
It did it. The stove looks great. I'm very surprised.
Glass Plus cleans glass.
Plus, a whole lot more.
The very next time you get a busy signal,
Where's the plumber?
Try the busy signal fix. Press *66. Repeat dialing. It redials for half an hour and rings you back when the other line's free. You don't have to subscribe, just use it.
Hello. Ideal Plumbing?
*66, the busy signal fix from 9X. 75 cents per use plus cost of call.
Okay, welcome back to the Positive Vibe. Hope you're doing well on this Monday as we get ready to go into October in just a couple of days. But right now, we're going to look at how residents in Monroe, Louisiana, turned a heartbreaking loss into community purpose, as Bill Hangley Jr. published this article last Friday. Sometimes you have to leave a place to find out how nice it is, and that's what happened to Lindsay Broderick of Monroe, Louisiana. I was a wild child. I left, determined never to come back. Everybody knows everybody's business, she says. And we only came back because my daughter was born with the colic, and we needed to be around my mom. It turned out to be where friends are family. And as a child, she loved to run wild in Monroe's quiet green streets. As a teen, she chafed at its small town ways. As a mother, she and her husband, Brett Broderick, learned to love the place all over again. And when they lost their son, Tarver, in a tragic fire in 2024, they found out how much the place loved them. The loss of our son has brought the community together. People aren't hurting like us, but they're hurting with us, says Brett. I've lived in lots of places, but the sense of community here, I've never felt that way before. Monroe is a spacious green city on the Ouachita River, a place of slow-flowing bayous and low-slung homes surrounded by corn and soybean fields. Along the West Monroe, its cousin and across the river, it's the largest urban area in northeastern Louisiana. Once a Spanish outpost, later a steamboat town, the Twin Cities are home today to 60,000 people. One of them was Tarver, just 16 years old when a late-night fire at a hunting cabin took his life. His family member remembers him as a generous and gregarious kid, wild like his mom, hands-on like his dad, the type who clapped too loud in church but was always ready to join a mission to build a wheelchair ramp or fix a roof. He couldn't sit still in the pew, says Lindsay, but he loved those mission trips. It was only after he died that the family learned how many times Tarver had bought a classmate lunch or a snack. When a football teammate needed a pair of boots, Tarver gave him his. In their son's memory, the family launched the Tarver Braddock Foundation to sponsor spreading love, laughter, and happiness through random acts of kindness. Almost all its funds come from the people in and around Monroe, donations as small as $5. And the money goes right back to Twin City residents as small grants, gifts, and scholarships. One of those scholarships, a $5,000 check, went to Anthony Washington, a hardworking high school senior on his way to college. His mother, Rachel, a pastor and Monroe native, called the surprise gift a blessing that reflects the best of the Twin Cities. The thing about Monroe is we understand how to help each other out, Rachel says. We've had bad things happen, but we've had good things happen here too. I've worked for the city. I've been around mayors. I've been around council people. They truly want the help. And they want to help as well. It's that spirit that earned Monroe its nomination as one of America's nicest places. The suggestion came from Kenya Ross, who was anchoring the local TV news on the night that Tarver Braddock died. It was haunting, Ross recalls. People were just shaken. And that's Tarver right there. Great kid. Great smile and positive vibe all over the place. But then Ross saw the community unite around the family. The Broddocks' home filled with flowers. So many well-wishers visited that the police had to put out traffic cones. Area high schools rallied to celebrate Tarver's memory. It goes to show that we can come together for each other, says Ross. Today, Ross works with Discover Monroe West Monroe, an economic development group that's helping write the newest chapters for a place whose story goes back to the 1700s. Originally the home of the indigenous Ouachita people, later an outpost for French and Spanish explorers, Monroe took its name from the first steamboat that arrived in 1819, launching an agricultural boom. This whole area was King Cotton, says Laura Peppers, who's a genealogist at the local public library. Then they discovered natural gas, and that's when Monroe really took off. Throughout the 20th century, Monroe drew people of all kinds. Italian and Greek immigrants worked the nearby gas field. Emancipated African Americans worked the cotton and corn fields. Entrepreneurs launched businesses, including the crop dusting company that eventually became Delta Airlines. The Twin Cities grew a healthy foundation of schools, parks, libraries, museums, and nature preserves. Today, it's the region's go-to spot for higher education and healthcare, as well as catfish restaurants, concerts, water sports, and Christmas markets. Monroe's historic downtown boasts a new hotel, and downtown West Monroe has a new kayak dock. Old banks and warehouses are turning into offices and senior housing. A cluster of galleries and studios near the river hosts a monthly art crawl. We're not tearing down our history. We're turning it into something new, says Peppers. The area now includes a growing population of Asian, Hispanic, and other newcomers, joining white and African American families who have been there for generations. A real melting pot, says Peppers. And even as the Twin Cities evolve, their traditions hold strong, including their faith tradition. Whatever faith you are, we have a church or a mosque or a temple or a synagogue, Pepper says. Whoever you are, we have a place for you. Monroe isn't perfect, of course. There's crime and poverty and feisty politics, but there's opportunity as well in Southern hospitality and very few traffic jams. It's not too fast and it's not too slow, says Rachel Washington. Some people need that medium speed. For the Braddocks, giving back to this diverse and growing community has proved a balm. Gives us purpose to get through the pain, says Brett. Through the Tarver Braddock Foundation, they have raised and given away more than $100,000, and they've paid bills for needy neighbors, sponsored worthy causes, and handed out dozens of scholarships. The one that went to Anthony Washington came completely out of nowhere, says his grateful mom. The $5,000 scholarship will help her son, a tuba player, study music at Grambling State University, home of the legendary Tiger Marching Band. It shows us that somebody cares about us, she says. It means the world. And if the Braddocks still hurt, they also know that Tarver would be proud of what they do. And they hope to keep helping Monroe for as long as Monroe will help them, which should be a long, long time. Just yesterday, there was a gift at our door, says Lindsay. The note just said, "We're thinking of you." It's been 17 months, and almost daily we get a donation. They haven't forgotten. And there you have it, friends. Another great article from the Reader's Digest. But it goes to show you how they can turn the negatives into the positives with just a little help from their friends and their neighboring community. When we come back, we'll look at our final article of the day, which is drinking this hot beverage daily could help preserve brain health in a new Harvard study that they just released. We'll be back with more of the positive vibe right after this.
Want a cold capsule, Eddie?
Baby, that capsule's just for head colds. I'm also coughing. My throat is scratchy. I feel achy. I need some rest. I want
NyQuil.
NyQuil.
Vicks NyQuil, nighttime cold medicine, relieves more major cold symptoms than the leading capsule. Relieves them for hours, so it lets you get the rest you need.
You treat me like a king, Laurie.
You got a cold tonight? Put NyQuil to work.
Well, howdy. Let me guess. You've been waiting for Cool Ranch flavored Doritos, and I can't say I blame you. Creamy, Cool Ranch seasonings. And those ingredients, what are we talking there? Maybe a tomato, an onion or two? See, this is what your storytellers might call a cornucopia of nature's treasures. And that's why no other chip tastes like Cool Ranch, and no other crunch can jumpstart your horse.
Cool Ranch flavored Doritos brand tortilla chips. One heck of a crunch.
Why not start their morning in a warm way? Smooth.
Apples.
Creamy.
Raisins.
Delicious.
Peaches and cream.
I feel better when he has a warm breakfast. Anything's Quaker's flavors are
hot stuff.
With instant Quaker oatmeal, you can really make their morning.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sport Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sport Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
It's finally the day, something big's going on in a really big way.
Guess what? It's Big Mac's birthday, and you're all invited to McDonald's for a 99-cent Big Mac. Hot off the grill and delicious for just 99 cents.
So hurry, 10 days only from June 28th to July 7th.
Have a Big Mac for just 99 cents and say happy birthday to Big Mac.
It's the good time for the great taste.
Happy birthday, Big Mac, to you.
In a national taste test, Swiss Miss Hot Cocoa Mix was compared with Carnation. What happened? Swiss Miss, it beat Carnation almost 2-1.
Don't you just love those commercials where they compare something of the old and the new, and then the one that they are really not promoting falls right into the background? Judd Hirsch from Taxi. What a commercial. And speaking of which, I'll tell you one thing, friends. I'm so speechless. I don't know what to say. No. Our subscriber count has gone up. I'm not going to tell you how many subscribers, but when you watch the program on Wednesday for Wipe Those Tears, you'll know how many we have as of the current moment. We might even gain some more in this program as well. The bottom line is, we thank you for your continued support. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, tell us what we need to be doing. Share some articles with us on the Positive Vibe here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Jay's All TV channel. All right. Lauren Gray is going to tell us about this hot beverage that could help preserve brain health from a new Harvard study. This was published last Thursday. Specific amounts of these foods were potentially neuroprotective for age-related brain atrophy, thanks to the antioxidant content. The Mediterranean diet is known for its effects on heart health, weight management, and as a contributor to longevity. The lean protein, plant-centered, polyphenol-loaded approach is so tried and true that the Mayo Clinic even recently spun up their own version. Now researchers at Harvard and the other universities have identified a handful more ingredients that could add another worthy benefit: memory staying power. Their study, coming out in the October 2025 issue of Clinical Nutrition, reports that adding green tea and 2 specific foods to your menu may help protect your brain against aging. An international team of public health and brain researchers hailing from Harvard T. Chan School of Public Health, Ben Gurion University in Israel, and the University of Leipzig in Germany analyzed data from around 300 participants in what Harvard calls one of the longest-running studies on the link between brain and diet. To explore the link between the two, specifically, they compared the impact of 3 diets: a standard healthy diet, a traditional calorie-restricted Mediterranean diet, and the green Mediterranean diet. Now, the team explains their finding that a green Mediterranean diet is potentially neuroprotective for age-related brain atrophy. This diet namely folds in green tea, walnuts, and mankai, a nutrient-dense aquatic plant most commonly consumed in Southeast Asia, according to the Alzheimer's Drug Discovery Foundation. The team also emphasized lower amounts of red and processed meat. But after measuring protein levels in the participants' blood and performing MRI-weighted brain scans to calculate brain aging based on participants' neural network, they determined that higher levels of 2 proteins in the blood, galectin-9 or GAL9 and decorin DCN, were associated with faster aging brains. Green tea, walnuts, and mankai help to keep these protein levels low, an effect they attribute to the anti-inflammatory content in these foods. Specifically, 3 to 4 cups of green tea daily and 28 grams of walnuts, which is equivalent to 1 ounce and works out to around 7 walnuts. One of the study's co-authors, Harvard postdoctoral research fellow Annette Meir, he's a PhD in MPH, remarked that the research gives us a dynamic window into brain health, helping to reveal biological changes long before symptoms may appear. By mapping these protein signatures, we gain powerful new insight into how interventions such as diet may help preserve cognitive function as we age. According to the National Institutes of Health, aging can affect the brain in several ways, including possible decreased blood flow, increased inflammation, or the shrinking of certain brain parts that can be important for learning or other tasks. To combat this, experts regularly recommend, along with dietary changes, engaging in brain health habits through exercise, healthy sleep habits, managing stress and underlying health conditions, and staying socially and cognitively active. For daily wellness updates, subscribe to The Healthy by the Reader's Digest newsletter and follow The Healthy on Facebook and Instagram. Keep reading because there's some great stuff on a new study about doing 3 gentle exercises called the carnivore diet. Research, if you sit for this long daily, your brain might be shrinking, and the risk factors that could lead to dementia before age 65. And then Lauren Gray, well, she has a decade of experience covering health and wellness in Stuff Magazine, Popular Mechanics, Yahoo News, MSN, Best Life, and more. And for 3 years, she led the Writing Center at Woodstock School, one of the oldest international boarding schools in India. She's a young adult breast cancer survivor who now centers her personal life around, I guess, other things to keep her busy. You can read more about Lauren Gray from the Reader's Digest. Thank you, Lauren, for that great article. Well, we've got more to come, and we're going to look at, of course, the Daily Motivator of the Day, and we're going to look at some positive commentaries around positive thinking. More about that when we come back right after these very important messages.
It's the quick, thick, liquid bowl cleaner new Swish. It's the clean, green, liquid bowl cleaner new Swish.
Swish's thick green liquid clings to the bowl, clings to the rim, and it cleans as it clings. It deep cleans, it fights rust, and nicest of all, Swish releases a fresh cut fragrance.
It's the quick, thick, liquid bowl cleaner new Swish. It's the clean, green, liquid bowl cleaner new Swish.
It cleans as it clings.
It's not the 4th of July, it's not Thanksgiving, it's not even Christmas. It's better than all those. It's Crazy Eddie Day. You'll save money like never before during Crazy Eddie's Crazy Eddie Day sale with the guaranteed lowest prices on anything and everything in home entertainment. Shop around, get the lowest sale prices you can find, then go to Crazy Eddie and he'll beat him. It's Crazy Eddie Day. Save big, big, big bucks during Crazy Eddie's Crazy Eddie Day sale. Crazy Eddie, his prices are insane. Thanks a lot.
Decaffeinated just for me. Now there's something new under the sun. Introducing Lipton Decaffeinated Instant Iced Tea.
Ooh, Lipton tea, you made new, decaffeinated just for me.
Yes, Lipton also has a decaffeinated instant tea any way you like it, with sugar, with NutraSweet, or unsweetened. Delicious.
Ooh, Lipton tea, you made new, decaffeinated just for us.
You know, to clarify butter is particularly simple. All you do is put half a pound of butter into a saucepan. After 10 minutes, it looks like this with a foam on the top. You skim the foam off the top and place that into 1 Dixie cup. Then you take, when you've got all the foam off, and you pour the clear, clarified butter into the other Dixie cup. And it keeps beautifully, you know. You can fry with this, you can butter vegetables with this one. And don't forget, in Dixie cups.
Ice cream, Carvel ice cream. We make fresh ice cream every day at Carvel Ice Cream. America's freshest ice cream every way at Carvel Ice Cream. Fresh Carvel ice cream.
Okay, welcome back to the Positive Vibe. I think this commentary on positive thinking that we just found with as we were in break sums up a lot about what we were talking about with the positive benefits, the health benefits of green tea. But this right here from Michael Josephin's What Will Matter from the whatwillmatter.com website. Here's his take on quotes, insights, and images about a life that matters. Here is his commentary on the beginning of positive thinking. He says, I'm a strong believer in the power of positive thinking, which is the title of a best-selling book published in 1952 by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, a controversial preacher and pastor who popularized the idea that if you can change your attitude, you can change your life. He urged people to consciously train themselves to be optimistic and enthusiastic, to believe in themselves, to refuse to dwell on negative thoughts, and to visualize success. He also vigorously advocated forgiveness, gratitude, and building one's own character. Who could argue with that? Apparently, the entire psychiatric community. His theories evoked universal criticism from psychiatrists who labeled his advice shallow, simplistic, and possibly dangerous. They believed that ultimately those who tried his methods would end up disillusioned and worse off than before. He was labeled a confidence man and a charlatan. I was surprised to discover that even Dr. Martin Seligman, the father of the positive psychology movement in 1998, nearly a half a century after Dr. Peale's book, vociferously sought to distinguish positive thinking from positive psychology. He called positive thinking an unproven and dangerous armchair activity. Certainly, these are legitimate concerns that some people might be so taken by the self-hypnosis of positive thinking that they foolishly or naively ignore risks and deny demonstrable negative realities. But these concerns are no better documented than Dr. Peale's claims. In fact, Dr. Seligman and his colleagues launched scientific research proving the huge value of positive attitudes and optimism in producing happiness and mental well-being. Perhaps Dr. Peale oversold his theories, but millions of people believe that his message gave them a new strategy that made them happier and more successful. Clearly, extreme, unreflective optimism can mask risks that need to be considered by prudent people. But I suspect more suffer because of negativism than optimism. Even today, I find these Pealeisms appealing and useful. If life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Imagination is the true magic carpet. It's always too early to quit. Success consists not in fighting battles, but in avoiding them. A masterly retreat is itself a victory. The trouble with most of us is that we would rather be ruined by praise than saved by criticism. And we've all heard that we have to learn from our mistakes. But I think it's more important to learn from success. If you learn early from your mistakes, you are inclined to learn only errors. Action is a great builder of confidence. Any action is better than no action at all. Any fact facing us is not important as our attitude toward it, for that determines our success or failure. The way you think about a fact may defeat you before you ever do anything about it. You are overcome by the fact because you think you are. And don't take tomorrow to bed with you. Formulate and stamp indelibly on your mind a mental picture of yourself as succeeding. Hold this picture tenaciously. Never permit it to fade, and your mind will seek to develop the picture. Do not build up obstacles in your imagination. Getting people to like you is merely the other side of liking them. Repetition of the same thought or physical action develops into a habit which, repeated frequently enough, becomes an automatic reflex. And stand up to your obstacles and do something about them. You will find that they haven't half the strength you think they have. The more you lose yourself in something bigger than yourself, the more energy you will have. There is a real magic in enthusiasm, and it spells the difference between mediocrity and accomplishment. We struggle with the complexities and avoid the simplicities. And we tend to get what we expect. And also, this is Michael Josephson, reminding you that character counts. Note this essay is more extensive than the broadcast commentary, which had to fit the 90-second format. Pretty good. I think we'll be looking into more of the power of positive thinking with some other commentaries. We'll look at those during the rest of this week. Positive thinking really does help us go beyond that which we need to go beyond. And now for the Daily Motivator. Ralph Marston is, of course, the one who gives us all the good stuff about the Daily Motivator. Today is September 29th, 2025, and he writes, Within Yourself, title. Out of chaos, order can be purposely assembled and maintained. With sufficient effort, clarity and truth can be extracted from confusion, deception, and ambiguity. The potential for goodness always exists, and to realize that potential requires work and commitment. It's easy to let life slide into disarray, but that doesn't mean that disarray is inevitable. What makes life good is recognition that it can be, and the discipline to bring about its best possibilities. Whatever goodness you experience is the goodness in which you actively participate. And whether you see the world as dark and meaningless or as beautiful and full of promise, you're right. The direction in which your energy is focused makes all the difference in what that energy creates. Whatever good you seek for all of life, allow it wholly and continually within yourself. Then you can do the work to expand it far and wide. Thank you, Ralph Marston. And that concludes our program for today. What a way to start off a new week here on the Positive Vibe, episode 4. We're a little behind in our episodes, but because of Charlie Kirk's passing, we had that memorial. And we want to thank you very much for allowing us to have that time to remember our friend who tried and still is to bring our country together on the positive side of life. Well, episode 5 on Wednesday is definitely going to be a good one. We'll have more articles and a whole bunch of other great positive things to look at this Wednesday coming up. I'm Jason Icanio. Don't forget to check us out on Discord for the game show recordings. If you'd like to play the 3 game shows on their season finales, the season finales are coming up right at 7 o'clock. In fact, as of the taping of this recording, this is the final season to get in and play the games. So if you'd like to be a part of the group and have fun with us, do join us in Discord. And you could probably win some money too that you didn't even think you had the opportunity to. Not real money, just fun, but a lot of great interaction as we go about and wrap up another great season of game shows. Till then, I'm Jason Icanio. Remember, be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Have a great day. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye for now.